Alright everyone, welcome back to my review of FUUTO PIs. My name is Buster Green, and today we are up to episode 11, the penultimate episode of the series. I think. I believe because I'm under the impression right now that the show only has 12 episodes in season 1. Anyway, like I said, my name is Buster Green, and I'm a man who only needs 57 subscribers to get monetized. And once I do, I'll finally have enough money to build my Doomsday Tower and resurrect all the dopants from the Kamen Rider WTV series. Bwahaha! Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. Anyway, that's not real. Sorry guys. Anyway, sorry about the delay on this episode. I had some personal drama to attend to this week. And the friend of mine who usually gives me these episodes to watch and chop up mysteriously fell into a ditch or a hole or something this week. Either way, he didn't show up, so instead I reviewed Witcher Mercury on Monday. And that went pretty well for me. Anyway, going into this episode, the pin board's been updated, and we actually get the super cute paper craft cutout of normal Futo and Shadow Futo underneath it. Shadow Futo has that funky Tokyo Tower thing going on, and yes, there is a minor square for the Rando Engineering Workshop people who are pivotal to this arc. There's also a cool little action bubble confirming that Kamen Rider and Freddie Mercury are still fighting. And then we get a quick recap of the last episode that the Grandpa is missing, Tokumi's in danger, and Reactor is still fighting W. Then we go back to Tokumi, who's about to be confronted by the Brachiosaurus boy. He knows who she is, but she forgot who he is. Epic suspense and drama ensues. Anyway, so Brachio Boy claims he's here to collect the silver credit card that Tokumi just picked up. He implies that it's a kind of power source for her. Not sure why. She just picked that thing up 5 minutes ago, so I'm not sure why it would be important. Anyway, she doesn't want to give it to him, so she shoves it in her bra, and he says that's a dirty trick to play on a 12-year-old boy. And then he proceeds to use some evil hypno-shock therapy thing on her, and then he, full-on puts his hand down her bra to rifle around for the thing, and gah. Now, I'm not sure if the fact he's underage makes the scene even more or even less perverse, but Brachio seems to be all business, and he leaves Tokumi alone after taking the card. Oh no, I spoke way too soon. Ooh, ew, he's a cliche underage virgin pervert trope mixed with an evil rapist trope. That's a horrible combo. I don't think I've ever seen that in an anime before. It's vile. That's way too much like true crime real life. Alright, opening credits, and then we're back to Kamen Rider doing his full kick attack. Okay, so post-credits, yeah, we're back to the Reactor fight, and W and Axel have dodged a death blow with Axel's amazing speed. And then Philip lays down that Reactor is pretty much invincible because his nuclear energy is hard to stop. It's got an infinite power source, and on top of that, it's armored to keep it all contained. So Philip decides that the only thing they can do is use Heat Trigger to maybe crack his armor, which would maybe release his energy. So Terui throws his beetle phone on the blaster to give it a +5 stamina boost, and they shoot a hella big laser attack, and it looks freaking awesome. It explodes, and then there's a minor chink in Reactor's armor, so he shoots off a flare. I guess it's a distress flare, and this distress flare signals, oh shit, a huge army of mass production road dopants. So those super deformed shorts where they literally implied there are additional road dopants out there, turns out that was serious, and there are actually 100 of them. Then we go back to Tokumi, who is being horribly assaulted by a child. Brachiosaurus has this evil mind control hypno power, and he gets Tokumi to almost take off all her clothes, but she fights back as much as she can. And right before she gets completely naked, she somehow uses her intense willpower to reverse his psychic waves back at him and get away. I'm not sure why the kid has psychic waves. Oh wait, maybe it's an additional psychic power from extended high dope use like the old grandma had in the last arc. Okay, sure, that explains that. Anyway, so apparently the road dopant was cloned a billion times so they could expand the size of Shadow Futo. And yeah, that's super horrible because the road dopant needs to eat the entire population of normal Futo to make the cement to build that thing. Now that still doesn't tell me why they cloned him or how they cloned him, but I guess that's the reason why they're cloning him. Anyway, so W's style changes again and starts just mowing down the road dopants because they suck. So does Axel. It's that cliche big end of the show penultimate fight where the hero fights a bunch of bad guys that are the same bad guys he's fought before, but now he can defeat them faster to show he's gotten stronger. Anyway, Axel and W are doing really, really well clearing them out, but then Reactor trash talks them and is like, oh, you guys are doing so poorly at this fight and we're totally gonna win, so we're just gonna kick you out before you can kill us all. Yeah, that's really awkward. Like, it seems like they know they're gonna lose, but they're like playing it like they're gonna win. Anyway, Kamen Rider ends up getting dumped out of a wormhole right above Tokyo Harbor, and he's wet. So back in Shadow Futo, one of the road dopants touches Reactor and burns to death. Is that funny? Anyway, he realizes that he's going to burn them all to death, so he down henshins to be less dangerous and walks away. Meanwhile, Axel and Shotaro are pissed. Shotaro is so pissed, he punches the ocean as hard as he can. It's very impressive. The eye catch here shows Aurora's gang. Important thing about this eye catch, this is the first and clearest time we've ever seen Scream in her human form. And I'm not gonna lie, she looks a little bit creepy hot. Anyway, back in Shadow Futo, nothing's going on here at first, but Tokumi and the old man are still lost and running around. Oh, and here comes Tokumi. She's just running around, having a psychotic break about her identity. Oh, and then she finds the grandpa. I guess he wasn't an eater. So then we go back to Philip in the library. He's looking about a bunch of stuff about how to deal with the dope hand. And then Akiko comes in and gets her one appearance of the episode. She mentions that Terui is looking for clues with the dope hand case of robbers. And then Shotaro has this sad hero moment, which is very classic Kamen Rider. Somehow Akiko is talking to him too at the same time. I guess she instantly switched rooms to talk to both of them. Anyway, Akiko heavily hints here that Shotaro is in love with Tokumi now, and so therefore he has to save her with a crazy miracle. And he contemplates that, and then he thinks about it, and then he's shocked. And even though he's shocked, Shotaro stays hard-boiled and says that he's just going to help her because she used to be his client, and then he regains his composure as a hero and heads out. As he heads out, Akiko does a Kamen Rider 1 pose and vows that Shadow Futo will not fuck with anyone else anymore. Anyway, Shotaro goes back to the machine shop and goes extremely tediously through their Japanese-style paper records to try and search for clues, but finds nothing. After the fact, the dad says Shotaro should check out the shrine up the road, so he does, and he runs into the granddaughter there praying. The granddaughter, meanwhile, gives Shotaro a much better lead that the grandfather actually has his own secret little shrine just for blacksmiths behind the main shrine, and he was the only one using it. Now, this ends up being even more important because in the moment I ignored in the last episode, it turns out that Philip told Shotaro to find the prototype valve, and as it turns out, it's actually in the shrine because the shrine is some kind of weird disposal system for prototype machines. Is that a thing in Japan? That seems extremely unusual, especially since Japan is so hard up for space all the time. It seems like they're basically just using the shrine as a garbage dump. Anyway, Shotaro looks in the garbage dump and he ends up finding the machine Reactor 1 in there. As it turns out, Reactor never picked it up because the old man hid it from him after deciding he was a terrorist at the diner. So Philip uses his brain internet thing to figure out that this device is actually a device for the real world, not Mirror Futo, and he also devises that the Reactor dopant would use this device very frequently. So their best guess is that it's actually some kind of key to open a gate to Shadow Futo, which is something they need right now because they don't have Tokumi. Anyway, meanwhile, Grandpa is still running for his life a week later, and goddamn, dude, how are you running so much? What are you eating? A bird craps on his shoulder. Oh no, it's worse than that, it's the road dopant. I guess it wants to eat him to build more roads. Suddenly it gets shot in the face. Wait, Tokumi shot it? What did she shoot it with? What? Oh, okay, she shot it with the phone beetle. That's cool. And after this, Tokumi does a sick pose, having in the end self-realized herself as a superhero detective assistant girl. Alright. Cue the sexy dancing credits. Alright, so this SD short in this episode is about Nikaido, the Reactor dopant, and no one can stop him now, because he's having a good time. Okay, I can only make so many Mercury jokes about this guy, but that's literally the one the show went with this time. Anyway, he ends up killing several road dopants by mistake by snapping his suspenders and laying out heat. And then Brachio and Scream have deadpan reacts because he's too sexy for his shirt. Wait, that's not a Queen song. Alright, anyway, so this is a typical second to last episode of an anime. It was a little bit underwhelming, especially since it seemed like W and Axel were easily going to kill all the mass production road dopants until they got wormholed. I'm really, really, really ultra curious if they are going to wrap up the show in the next episode or if they're going to keep it going. I thought the series only has 12 episodes, but I don't think they can satisfactorily wrap up all the loose ends at this point. There's too many plot lines going on at this point. Also, Brachiosaurus, holy fuck. That is the most sexually uncomfortable thing I've seen in an anime in a long time. And it's extra unsanitary with the fact he's a 12-year-old. I'm not even emotionally prepared to comprehend that. Do you guys want to try him as an adult? What do you think about this horrible kid? Let me know in the comments. I don't think I can discuss him or I'll get in legal trouble, but he's creepy. Yeah, otherwise, this was just your basic Kamen Rider ep, but more action than mystery this time around. Brakio abused Tokumi. Tokumi ran away. Shotaro and Axel got kicked out of Shadow Futo, found the Valve engine, and then in the end, Tokumi self-realized and saved the old man. With the stakes being what they are at this point, I don't think there's any way the series satisfactorily wraps up in the next episode. There's just too much arc to go through. So, I mean, best case scenario, I think in the next episode, he beats up Reactor, but then we're going to have a cliffhanger and we're going to have a season 2. And even then, I'm not sure. We might need a season 3 because there's so much manga this thing is based on to cover. So, I'm not sure how many different story arcs in the manga cover the Aurora Dopan. But either way, this is the first Kamen Rider anime, and it is keeping it really interesting, so I'm here for that. Alright, I'm you, Buster Green, and hopefully my review of this show next week is on time. I'll try better next week. Maybe I'll have to get a new episode source. I'll keep you guys posted, and please subscribe. 57 subscribers for getting monetized. Then I'll start doing the really crazy stuff. Alright, thank you guys. Later.